Hi, Arlen Payne here from the Everglades. This is my second attempt at a shave video. I appreciate all of the comments and the encouragement we got from our first video, and that was a real surprise to me to get such great comments from so many of the guys. I have a mystery for you today, something I came across several years ago, and it's just been on my mind all this time, and I've just never been able to figure it out. So I thought maybe I'd pass it on to you guys and see if maybe you could help me figure this mystery out. Several years ago, I was over at a nearby town, and we had taken another family over to have dinner. And we stopped at a thrift shop just to kind of see what was there. Not much in that town, so we went to look around a little bit, and I was in this shave shop, and I found a shave brush. And they had a price on it for $5. And I said, well, I'll give you $3 for it. And so the lady did. But I don't know who made this brush or where it came from, and I thought I'd show it to you and see if you could help me figure this out. I think it's a boar brush, as near as I can tell. It has a metal handle, which kind of creates a problem because when I try to soak the brush, the handle gets hot and it's hard to pick up. Let me show it to you, and you can help me figure out where it came from. It's really a nice brush. I really like it, and I've used it quite a bit. In fact, it's beginning to shed. A lot of the bristles are coming out of it. Now, I'll tell you what I think, and I've not been able to identify a brand or where it may have came from or anything like that, and I don't even know how old it is. It turned out to be a great brush, and I like using it. Now, I think this was probably a brush that was in some kind of a set. Like I said, it has a metal handle, and I wonder if maybe there was a brush with a similar handle or perhaps some other products or other equipment that was in that set, and they probably all matched. I really don't know. It's turned out to be a great brush. I like using it. It's a little stiffer than some of my other brushes, and actually I kind of like that for this brush. I put it in my rotation and use it from time to time. And so if you can figure out where this brush came from or help me identify who made it, I'd appreciate that very much, and see if we can figure this mystery out. Now, like I say, I don't like to just put it in the sink, so I put it in my bowl so I can just heat the bristles up that way and let them set for a few minutes and let them soak in a little bit of the water. The shave today, the only really difference, I'm using a lot of the same products that I used last time, but I'm using a different razor. Now, this was also a thrift store find. I was out in the Midwest, and we had looked around at some places, and I was specifically looking at some razors. And you know, you've got to be careful, because in this particular thrift store, they had a number of straight razors, and they had some pretty big prices on them. Some of them were $50, $60 and more, and honestly they were worth maybe $5. They were not really even usable from what I could tell. Maybe they could be cleaned up and refurbished, but they were in pretty bad shape. And we had looked around. This is a big store. We looked around a little bit, and then finally I asked, I said, do you have any old razors, particularly double-edged razors? And they said, well, not really. There might be a few around. And they looked around. Finally, they went to this back room where they had a room of men's stuff only, which was kind of unusual. And she said, I've got this one. It's a Gem G-Bar, and it has become one of my favorite razors. Now, it uses the single-edge blade. It's in great shape. I paid $5 for this razor, and it has been a great razor for me. I'm going to use it today. Sometimes it's called a shovel head. You know, the cover snaps off, and the blade, single-edged blade, fits down inside. Yeah, be careful. Make sure you get the right blades. Don't buy the hardware blades. Make sure you get shaved blades for these. And I like the Gem. I like this one. I had one of the old 1912, I think, Gem. I wasn't too crazy about that one. In fact, I think I gave it away. But this one I really enjoy, and I really like it. So I'm going to be using it today. Now, it is a little bit different. The angle is a little bit different. It's obviously just a single edge, so the braids don't seem to last as long, although they do pretty well. So let's get started. I'll get my face wet here. I'm using a lot of the same stuff that I had used before, so nothing new there. I generally get a hold of some products I like, and then I just use them until I use them up. I know a lot of guys rotate a lot of their shave creams, and that's fine. It's just not what I do. Now, this is my pre-shave. It's called Pro Shave. Started using it at the recommendation of my barber. And honestly, when I get done with this jar, I'm probably not going to repeat it, and I'm going to kind of quit doing the pre-shaves altogether. They're all right, but it doesn't really seem to do that much for me. Maybe it does more than I think. I guess we'll find out when I quit using it. And it's fairly ready available. You can find it just about anywhere. I'm using the 1911 soap. It's just about gone. Got it in my Old Spice mug here, and probably another week or so this will be all gone. This metal brush really makes a lot of noise, and since I had to use my shave cup for soaking my brush, I didn't use it. Now I'm not going to use it to mix the lather. So, and with this soap, this has been a great soap just to do a face lather. You notice that at this point, I don't know if you can see, I've got like the bigger bubbles in the soap, and that's really not what I think of as a lather. Lather, I like for it to be a little bit thicker than that, a little bit more dense than that, and so get kind of a pre-lather, I guess, and get that started, and then it'll just lather right on my face. Until a few years ago, I had no idea that there were shave videos on YouTube. Never imagined that I would make one. There's one of them loose bristles. As I said, it's beginning to shed, and a lot of them are beginning to come loose. One of the things I enjoy in the YouTube videos is the different places they come from. The different parts of the country, and not only that, but in Europe and England and different places, and I enjoy seeing the videos from those places. The difference in the cultures, sometimes even in the accents, everywhere from Joe up in Brooklyn and New York, or in Queens, Joe in Queens, I enjoy his videos. Such a different world up there in New York than it is here in the Everglades, to the mad scientists of wet shaving, John out in Oklahoma City, and I enjoy his videos from the Northwest to the Midwest, and I know there's some guys probably out in Arizona and California, and I enjoy just watching the different cultures, and I've enjoyed the tours that Joe and Queen gives us around New York. I really don't have much hope of ever going that way, but you never know. As I mentioned in my last video, for me, generally a 2-pass shave is enough. I know that the 3-pass is pretty much the standard. And the truth of it is, you just got to find what works for you. And generally the 2 passes is plenty for me. First pass is with the grain. My second pass, I mix it up. I kind of do a little bit of across the grain on my neck. I do against the grain. You've just got to experiment and find out what works for you. Like they say, your mileage may vary. Okay, so on my neck I do against the grain. Notice the different angle with this G-bar. I think it's probably an angle that's greater than most DEs. And you just kind of have to go by the head and by the feel. So against the grain on my neck, then across my jaw and chin, I can go across the grain. I even enjoy some of the guys make the videos from Canada. But regardless of where you're from, we all got to shave. The hobby of traditional wet shaving is just kind of catching on everywhere. Well, let's check it out and see how it feels. I'll tell you what, I think we got pretty much a BBS shave going here. And look at that, that was just with 2 passes. I know some guys do as many as 4, but the 2 is plenty for me. So we'll clean this razor head off a little bit and get rinsed off and begin our post shave. I do kind of a warm rinse, and then I go to a cold water rinse. The cold is kind of refreshing in the morning. And go ahead and dry that off. A little bit of witch hazel, part of my post shave. This is the Humphreys cucumber I'm using today. I actually kind of like the Sayers better. I don't know, maybe I just haven't given enough time. I've just started using this new one, just kind of experimenting with it. And I'll let the witch hazel dry. Go ahead and clean up around my sink a little bit. Clean up my shave bowl. And depending on what lather I'm using or what soap I'm using, I may use a shave bowl or I may just do the face lather. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Go ahead and clean up my bowl or my shave mug and my soap and rinse it out. Brush rinsed out good and dried off a little bit. So what do you think? Where did it come from? Who made this? Who put it out there? Could be imported, could be domestic. I really don't know. There is no branding on it anywhere. In fact, one time the knot came out of it and we put it back in there. I don't know. It's a real mystery to me, and I hope that maybe somebody has the whole set, or perhaps can help identify where it came from. Now I go ahead and let this dry a little bit. Let the witch hazel dry. I just go ahead and let it dry on my face. I really don't want to take it off of there. In my rotation of aftershaves, I think today we're ready for some amber. Now, the amber is a Colonel Conk aftershave, and I don't know, something about these Colonel Conk bottles. I like them, and when I empty one, I kind of repurpose it and put different aftershaves in it. That way I kind of have a lot of my aftershaves in the same bottles. So a little bit of the amber for today. It's not one of my favorites, but it'll do for today. Well, that's pretty much it for today. If you can help identify that brush, give me a note down below. Send me a note, whatever you want to do. Subscribe. I was surprised after my first video how many subscribers I got. So subscribe. I'm going to try maybe to do a video about once a month. I'm not going to get all gung-ho here and do one every week or every day. And eventually we'll do some product reviews and show you some of the other razors and things that I have in my rotation in my collection. And so I hope you have a great day. God bless you. And we'll see you again next time.